Okay, so we're going back to the first items on the agenda around finance, which we'll deal with quite quickly. The first one is item 3, revenue monitoring 2013-14 month 2. I think the pleasing aspect of this item is that we've got an underspend of 41,000 in month 2, which is really good news. I hope that continues. Yeah, I think so. That is excellent. And clearly, on a more serious point, I know that there's a huge amount of work that the cabinet members are involved in with officers around making sure that the savings that we agreed for this financial year are actually delivered. I think it's important that we keep the spotlight on that. I know there's a kind of formal monitoring process going on, so I think that's important. However, I just want to also repeat my previous comment that our budget position has not been helped by the spending review announcement, which Graham, I think we think is somewhere in the region of 13.5 million to 24 million over 3 years. Is that those are the figures? Yeah. Which just made the job that we've got to do that much more difficult. I just really would really appeal to government, and we can, I think, ask our MPs to help with this, to really reconsider the impact this is having, not just on the global financial picture, but real residents and families, and their quality of life. I have to say I was not encouraged by the speech that the Secretary of State made at the Local Government Association annual conference last week, which didn't show any sign of any lesson in the government's austerity drive, which is very sad, I think, for those of us who really believe in local government. However, the administration will manage this, but it's going to mean that we just have an even greater challenge. But I think there is a determination that we will, deliver a balanced budget, and also, to continue to look at some of the transformational change ideas that I know that we are focusing on, of which I think was reports of shared services one earlier in the meeting. So, I'm really just going to ask Cabinet to agree the recommendations or no recommendations in item 3. Agreed. Thank you very much. Okay, item 4 is the capital monitoring report for month 2. And again, I think for me, the point to emphasise on this one is that I'm really sort of heartened that there seems to be a much more kind of rigorous process now for assessing capital schemes, which is, I think, good news. And we are continuing to sort of focus on key priorities, for example, reducing unsupported borrowing. I think that's important as well. I think Graham was still waiting to hear about our application for capitalisation. Any sign, any news on that?
Chair, obviously, we were promised by all authorities, we promised that the capitalisation scheme pushed. We are still waiting the publication of that scheme. Very frustrating, the LGA is also very frustrated. It would appear to me that the government may not maintain its commitment to offer the scheme across the country. They are being very silent about that. And I do wonder whether it's a fair right to reduce resources available to our government in terms of the overall spending of the government. At this stage, no news at all, despite many requests.
Okay, well that's disappointing, but we must keep the pressure on, I think, on that one. Okay, so again, I'm just going to ask Cabinet to note recommendation 2.1a, position 2.2, and to agree the recommendations in Agate 2.2. We agree those?
Agreed.
Okay, thank you. And finally, in the finance section, we have ones about adult social services write-offs, item 5. And And again, Chris, you touched on this in your contribution earlier on. I think we are, making progress now on reducing our debt issues, which is good news. And I think this report is part of identifying those debts which, for the reasons mentioned in the report, statute barred, the person is deceased, obviously there's no trace. I think it's appropriate for us to agree that those debts should be written off for the reasons mentioned in the report. So I think the report is asking us to note that, and that the debts be written off as detailed in the report on table 2 to the summary table. So can we agree that? Okay. Now, just before we leave the finance section, I just want to put on record my thanks to Peter Timmins, because Peter is leaving us soon, end of July, and I think it would be remiss, actually, if we didn't formally record our thanks to Peter, because I believe, together with Jim and the team in finance, that really they've done a fantastic job in getting this council's finances back on sustainable footing. So can we formally record our thanks to Peter and wish him all the best for the future? Agree. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Okay, I think now we are on to item 6, right? Yes, item 6, the local city region combined authority. I'll just say a few words about this. Graham, I don't know if you want to ask me to well, I'm against receiving the listing. There's no question in my mind that Wirral and Merseyside is going to get a reasonable slice of the funding that is now being made available for local enterprise partnerships around our growth agenda. The government are very clearly saying that you have to adopt a much more formal governance model. The two models that are being put forward, one is the combined authority and one is the city region mayor. I want to make it clear that certainly from this administration's point of view, we don't think that for Wirral, a direct elected city region mayor is appropriate, and I'm pleased that we've won that argument. And my colleagues in the city region, the other leaders, we've all agreed that the combined authority is the way forward. Indeed, the government have made it explicit in their response to the Michael Heseltine report, most of them determined that unless you adopt one of these two models, then we will lose out on funding for economic development, generally, regeneration and transport particularly. So there is a agreement in principle to look at the combined authority as the way forward. And clearly, there's a lot more detail still to be worked up on this. And I know particularly Graham and the other chief execs from the Merseyside districts and Holston are doing a lot of work behind the scenes on putting that detail in place around what the authority is going to be responsible for, the governance, and so on. I want to make it clear, because I've heard this model referred to as a super council for Merseyside. This is not, Merseyside County Council by the name. It is purely around those strategic functions around things like economic development, regeneration, and transport, where actually I think it makes sense for us to work collaboratively and cooperatively across our boundaries. That in no way going to detract from the ability of individual councils still to carry out independently their core responsibilities. But it is something I believe that if we don't do, we will lose out to other parts of the country who are moving ahead, I can say, very rapidly with this model. Most of them are actually looking at it. So I think it was important that we brought a formal report forward to cabinet explain our thinking behind this. My understanding, Graham, is that we're going to have a expression of interest in by the end of July and a formal bid in the autumn and September, and then there is quite a detailed kind of parliamentary process that we have to go through. But our aim is to have a combined authority in place by April next year. So, do you want to add anything else to that?
Well, I think with all those points, Jay, the other thing I'd emphasise is what you made, that this is about devolving powers down to government, not taking powers up from the authorities. That's very important to bear in mind. The way I've been taught, they've been combined authority for many years now, and the autonomy of those authorities is still very strong and still in existence. So it's not about the interest of the council, as Phil said, or taking powers away from all the local authorities. I'd like to confirm the fact that virtually all major city regions will be going ahead with this model. I'm also very confident that with the increasing influence that the Wirral Council has in the Burgess region, I'm confident that Wirral will get its fair share and more of resources that are available to the city region. I think the respect to this borough is increasing rapidly, and the influence we have is actually markedly improving. And I think we can gain great advantages from this money.
And I mean, can I just say, I think that was brought home. I'm not taking any credit for this, but the fact that I was sitting around the table this afternoon with Commissioner Hahn, who's the Commissioner in charge of the regional policy in Brussels, with the Mayor of Liverpool and the R. McCarthy, the RRMP. The fact that we were at the table, I think is really good news. Okay, so clearly we'll bring further reports back to Council when we have the detail in place. But can we agree that recommendation? Right. Okay. Now I'm going to suggest that please tell me if I've got this right. The item on Wirral Golf Resort, which was in exemption, I don't think we need to take an exempt business. So I think we can take, my advice is that we can take that in public. So I'm going to suggest that we go to that item now. Okay? Right. Do we, Pat?
Yeah. Thanks, Chair. This item has been around for a while, I think, since 2004, and it's great to see it moving at long last. It's an excellent news story, and it's moving with determination and vigour that it deserves in a big way, and we have a steering group as well of experts to take it forward. It's putting Wirral on the international map, and it's the potential of attracting huge investment, creation of jobs, and bringing world-renowned companies to our doorstep. We talk about transformation. This is truly transformational, in my opinion. We can actually do this as an unbelievable cabinet chair, and really punch it twice as a leading local authority. In terms, Chair, of the report itself, members are asked to accept the decision taken by the Strategic Director of Regeneration and Environment to accept specialist external legal and technical advice tenders in the sum of £178,823. This support the Council in procuring a development partner for the Wirral Golf Resort using the OJEU, which is the official journal of the European Union competitive dialogue process. In terms of paragraph 2, the background, the golf resort proposal will lead to a number, as I said, of significant benefits for Wirral, and include, amongst others, as I said, multi-million pound investment by the private sector in the golf resort proposals at Wirral and West Wirral contribute to the area's regeneration. The golf resort will offer international standard facility and the opportunity to regularly attract a variety of major golf competitions to the Wirral. The creation of direct and indirect jobs through the supply chain, which will be needed to support the golf resort. The securing of the golf resort, well, Chair, has the potential to significantly enhance the image of Wirral as a destination for leisure and business. The resort will increase the attraction of Wirral to the golfing sector and allow Wirral to develop specific golf-related activities, as well as using the golf to generate complementary activities in the borough. which has the potential to increase the number of tourists and increase, of course, visitor spend. The development itself share will improve the environment and landscape quality of the land in which it is to be built. The current position, as you can see in the report in paragraph 3, Cabinet has previously agreed in 2008 that due to the complexity of the proposal, the development partner should be, as I said, procured using the OJEU competitive dialogue process. As the Council has never used this process, it was therefore identified as a risk, and the only way to successfully manage the issue was to bring in external legal and project management expertise from consultants that had experience of using this EU process. In terms of paragraph 4, the tender evaluations, the commissioning of external legal and technical advice was completed in June 2013. Following detailed assessments, the legal brief was awarded to Masons, LLP, to the sum of £55,000, and the technical support work was awarded to Davies and Langdon, AECOM, to the sum of £123,000, £823. It was vital to commission the work as soon as possible to allow the OJ competitive dialogue process to be completed in time for the open return to Wirral in July, of course, 2014. Just to finish, I hope we can agree the recommendations in 12 and 13, Chair, which is Cabinet has recommended an open decision of the Strategic Director for Regeneration and Environment to procure St Masons LLP in the sum of £55,000 to provide the legal advice, and Davies Langdon in the sum of £123,000, £823 to provide the technical advice in connection with the OJEU, the competition dialogue procurement process for the Wirral Golf Resort.
Okay, thanks, Pat. Again, I just add my support really for this project. I mean, there's no doubt about it that particularly with the turn of the open to Wirral next year, there is significant interest, but not just nationally but internationally, in developing a world-class golf resort in Wirral. And I really do think that this will be an absolutely fantastic development. So, my thanks to certainly Kevin and the team, yourself, and Willie, who's worked on this project thus far. And I really do look forward to it coming to fruition. So, can we accept that recommendation?
Agreed.
Okay, right. Not aware of any other business. Okay, so can I close the meeting? Thank you for your attendance.